Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video we're going to go through the Forex market outlook. We're going to highlight some key areas to focus on this week and what opportunities lie ahead. So going through the currency strength and weakness table, we can actually see that the Australian dollar was the strongest currency last week and the euro was the weakest currency last week. We also had a bit of strength in the US dollar as well as the Japanese yen, but the Australian dollar was the strongest currency. However, it is now at +7. Now typically when anything hits +5 or above, I like to look for the opportunity for a reversal in that strength. It doesn't happen, straight away. We have to see that weakness come in initially. So there could be a little bit of further upside to the Australian dollar before it starts to roll over, but it keeps me aware that the Australian dollar could be at a point where we start to see a little bit of weakness come in. So I'm going to be focusing on those Australian dollar pairs in this market outlook, and if you can see here on the charts, we've got Aussie US dollar in up, we have Aussie yen, and we have Euro Oz up. And the reason I've got those charts in particular because Euro was the weakest currency last week, Australian dollar was the strongest, so we could see some further downside to Euro Oz. Aussie yen, there was some strength in the yen and some dollar, even though we are Aussie US dollar long at the moment. We can look for price to find resistance at a key area and then move lower from there. You can also see I've got Euro and the Dow and Kiwi dollar set up here. Not really focusing on these currency pairs, although Euro dollar has found a little bit of support here. Also looking for 4-hour changes in cycle, but nothing that we're looking at in particular. So if we go into the Australian dollar, we just open this up and I'm just going to go to a weekly time frame. So we can see that the weekly price is still bullish. However, price is closing back within this candlestick range. Now I don't typically like to see that when you want to see momentum. Typically you want to see nice continued lower low, lower closes like we're seeing here on these particular bearish candlesticks or these bullish ones through here. The market's continuing to close to the upside, so that's what we really want to see. Now looking at this area in particular, what we could anticipate, because the market does have an area of resistance here which we only slightly tapped into, we could anticipate the market rallying to that level and then rejecting it in terms of looking at that weakness follow through on the Australian dollar. So I'm holding that trade at the moment. Again, I'll always let the 4-hour dictate my trading setup in terms, if the market starts to break lower and break this low and close below, then we know that the position is likely to continue lower and that we should get out of the position. If it doesn't and we continue to the upside, we hit targets, fantastic. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so again, keep an eye on this 4-hour trend. It tends to keep you in line with the market. So if we do take out these highs here, I'll still be looking for a buy on the pullback into this key level. Once price hits that key level, I'm looking to do nothing. I'm waiting for the price to dictate to me what it wants to do next, because we could get a head and shoulders pattern, we could get a double top pattern, or the market could continue to the upside. So we have to understand that when the market hits these key levels, that we just need to wait for a position. Very similar with Euro Oz, there is an actual weekly level sitting all the way down at this 1.66. So on this weekly time frame, you can see quite clearly that the market continues to be bearish. We're starting to continue to get those bearish lower low, lower close candlesticks. That to me suggests that we could see further downside. Again, dive into that lower time frame. What's it showing you? Well, the 4-hour trend is to the downside. Okay, if I just actually bring on the template, you can actually see the 4-hour time frame. We can see that the price is moving lower. We've got our averages in order as well. So if we can get a pullback into these previous 4-hour lows, I'll be looking for those continuation patterns at that point. So you can see here, for instance, we get a nice change in cycle there. Market has continued to the downside. We also have a little bit of a range going on. So if I go just one time frame lower to the hourly, we can see that the market is actually trapped in this sort of range as well. So we could also look for the potential for the market to actually break out of this and continue down, okay? But the most ideal area for us would be for if price could pull back into these lows, then we'd dive down into a lower time frame and look for a position, okay? So the previous 4-hour highs up here, we can see the market did a nice change in cycle, which we cycled lower ever since. Market is now potentially in a pullback phase. Could we see a double top pattern here, inverse head and shoulders, anything like that on this lower time frame at that resistance to suggest the market could move lower into this weekly area of support, which is around about that 1.66 level, okay? So just ignore these are just from the previous template, okay? Let's get rid of this as well. Let me just put that line back in so you can see that area on the weekly was resistance previously. So is the market going to retest this level before making any decisions? Okay, that's what we're really looking for here on Euro Oz. So keep in mind the Australian dollar this week. Strength and weakness table is suggesting that the price is quite, or the Australian dollar is very strong. Either look for those continuations to those key levels and then look for reversals. So hope you enjoyed this market outlook this week. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below. If you enjoy the trading content, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more. Thanks.